Billions of dollars stolen, hospitals shut down, elections meddled with, power grids knocked offline, water treatment plants compromised. This is cybersecurity in 2026. But here's what nobody tells you. We built the internet without any of this in mind. Zero. We just didn't think about it. Today, we are going back to the very beginning, from a tiny experiment in a university lab to one of the most consequential arms races in human history. Buckle up, this story moves fast. Hello everyone, my name is Gaurav and this is CS Labify. It's 1969, the moon landing just happened, the Beatles are breaking up, and deep inside a DARPA-funded research lab, a small group of scientists are building something that will eventually connect every human being on Earth. They called it ARPANET. 4 nodes, 4 universities, and on October 29, 1969, they sent the very first message across it. The message was supposed to be login. They got 2 letters in, L, O, and the whole system crashed. Not exactly a confident start, but they kept going. And here's the thing about ARPANET that matters for our story. It was built by academics for academics. These were researchers who knew each other. They trusted each other. Security wasn't just an afterthought, it was barely a thought at all. The founding philosophy was openness. Share everything, connect freely. The idea that someone might want to break in just didn't compute. Now, before we even get to computers being hacked, we need to talk about phone phreaking, because the first real hackers didn't touch a keyboard. They used a whistle. In the early 1970s, a blind kid named Joe Ingracia, later known as Joy Bubbles, discovered he could whistle at exactly 2600 Hz and manipulate AT&T's phone network to make free long-distance calls. Then a guy named John Draper Captain Crunch. He found out that a toy whistle from a Captain Crunch cereal box produced the exact same tone. And just like that, the first hacker was a cereal mascot. Here's a fun trivia. A young Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak built and sold phone phreaking devices called blue boxes out of a dorm room before they ever started Apple. So the company that would eventually become the most valuable in history, founded by phone hackers. The spirit was pure curiosity, not malice. These early hackers just wanted to see what was possible. That culture, the exploration, the boundary pushing, it defines this entire story. Fast forward to 1983. The personal computer revolution is happening. The internet is still mostly academics and the military. And a 27-year-old Cornell graduate student named Robert Tappan Morris decides to run a little experiment. He wants to see how big the internet is. On November 2nd, 1988, Morris releases a self-replicating program, a worm, onto the network. The plan was harmless. The worm would just travel from machine to machine and count them. Except he made a coding error. The worm didn't just count machines, it multiplied on them uncontrollably. It infected somewhere between 6,000 and 9,000 computers, roughly 10% of the entire internet at that time, and ground them to a halt. The Morris worm was the first major cyber attack in history. Robert Morris became the first person convicted under the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. And the world woke up, just a little, to the idea that this network thing might have a problem. Might. The 1990s changed everything. The internet went commercial. Suddenly, it wasn't just scientists and government researchers, it was everyone. AOL was mailing CDs to every household in America. E-commerce was launching. Businesses were moving their operations online. And all those security vulnerabilities that nobody worried about before, they were now sitting at the center of the global economy. This is when the antivirus industry was born. Companies like McAfee and Norton showed up, basically selling their digital alarm systems for your computer. And for a while, it kind of worked. But the attackers were evolving faster than the defenders. May 4th, 2000, you open your email, there's a message from someone you know. Subject line, I love you. You open it. The I love you virus, created by a student in the Philippines named Onel de Guzman, spread to 45 million computers in a single day. It overwrote files, it stole passwords, it caused an estimated $10 billion in damage. $10 billion. from one email with a heart emoji subject line. This wasn't some elite technical exploit, it was social engineering at scale. It worked because humans are fundamentally trusting creatures and attackers figured that out. Governments started paying attention. The US government created the National Infrastructure Protection Center in 1998. Organizations started building dedicated security teams. Firewalls became standard infrastructure. The profession of cybersecurity was being born out of sheer necessity. Now I need to take you somewhere that will completely reframe how you think about all of this. 2010, somewhere in Iran, uranium enrichment centrifuges start behaving strangely. They spin too fast, then too slow, then they start destroying themselves. While the monitoring equipment shows everything is totally normal. Security researchers eventually find a piece of malware buried in the industrial control systems. They name it Stuxnet. This wasn't ransomware, it wasn't identity theft. Stuxnet was a cyber weapon designed to destroy physical hardware. For the first time in history, a line of code caused real-world physical destruction. That changed everything. Cybersecurity was no longer just about protecting data. It was now a domain of warfare. The hacker had transformed from curious teenager to organized criminal to nation-state actor. And the attackers kept coming. In 2013, Edward Snowden revealed that the NSA had been conducting mass surveillance. In 2014, North Korean hackers breached Sony Pictures. In 2016, Russian intelligence operatives hacked the Democratic National Committee. Each attack escalated the stakes. Each attack rewrote the rules. May 2021, the Colonial Pipeline, which supplies nearly half the fuel on the US East Coast, gets hit with ransomware. The company shuts itself down voluntarily to contain the damage. Gas stations run dry up and down the eastern seaboard. Panic buying, lines for miles. The US government declares a state of emergency. Colonial Pipeline paid $4.5 million in Bitcoin to the attackers, a group called DarkSide, just to get their systems back. This is ransomware. You get in, you encrypt everything the victim owns, and you hold the keys until they pay up. It's the fastest growing category of cybercrime on earth, and it now targets hospitals, schools, water utilities, and critical infrastructure. In 2023, ransomware attacks caused over $1 billion in reported ransom payments alone, and that's just what was reported. And now things are getting genuinely unsettling because artificial intelligence has entered the chat. AI-powered phishing emails are indistinguishable from ones written by a human. Deepfake audio can impersonate your CEO on a phone call and authorize a wire transfer. Automated vulnerability scanning can find and exploit weaknesses in your systems in minutes, faster than any human defender can respond. We are entering an era where the cost of launching a sophisticated attack is dropping to near zero, and the surface area being attacked, your phone, your car, your smart thermostat, your hospital's insulin pump, is expanding constantly. So what are defenders doing about it? The old model, build a big wall around your network, trust everyone inside, is dead. The new philosophy is called zero trust. The motto, never trust, always verify. Every user, every device, every request gets authenticated continuously. There's no such thing as inside the perimeter anymore. Companies are also turning attackers into allies. Bug bounty programs run by companies like HackerOne and Bugcrowd pay ethical hackers to find vulnerabilities before the bad guys do. Google, Microsoft, Apple, the US Department of Defense, they all run these programs now. But here's the uncomfortable truth underneath all of this. There are currently 3.5 million unfilled security jobs worldwide. 3.5 million. The demand for skilled defenders has completely outpaced the supply of trained people. Every company, every government, every hospital is operating with fewer defenders than they need. That gap is one of the most serious vulnerabilities we have, and it's a human problem, not a technical one. So here's where we are. We built a global network on a foundation of trust in an era when everyone on that network already knew each other. Then we handed it to 7 billion strangers. Then we connected it to power plants and hospitals and financial systems and election infrastructure. And we are still figuring out how to secure it. The history of cybersecurity is really the history of human ambition and human oversight. Every time we built something new and powerful, security came second. Every time that came back to bite us. The attacks are going to keep evolving. AI will make attackers more powerful and defenders more capable. Quantum computing will one day break most of the encryption we currently rely on. New battlefields, space infrastructure, the power grid, autonomous vehicles are already in the crosshairs. The question isn't whether the next major attack is coming. It is. The question is, who is going to be ready for it? If you want to go deeper, I've got full breakdowns of specific attacks, careers in cybersecurity, and what zero trust actually looks like in practice. All lined up. Hit subscribe so you don't miss them. I'll see you in the next one.